Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Feeney, and as you all know, we will be moving to another country for work, and I'm sure a million thoughts are running through your head. You will have to work with people who may have a completely different lifestyle and values than you, which can lead to some problems and complications. Luckily, there has been research done to show how values in the workplace are influenced by culture. Professor Greet Hofstede studied people who worked for IBM in more than 50 countries. He came up with 6 values that could distinguish one culture from another. This research helped to pinpoint and overcome differences. He scored them on a scale from 0 to 100 in the following categories: power distance index, individualism, masculinity, uncertainty avoidance index, long-term orientation, and indulgence. Here's a graph that shows the United States compared to Brazil in all of the categories. First, we're going to look at power distance index. This is defined as the extent to which the less powerful members of an institution and organizations within a country expect and accept that power is distributed unequally. So basically, it means how society handles inequality among people. Brazil scores pretty high at 69. Brazil reflects a society that believes in inequalities among people as being acceptable. There is a big distribution in power, and the status of power is important in determining your social position. In companies, there's likely to be one boss that will take responsibility, and the team members will not take action until to do so by this boss. The United States scores a 40, meaning the power is more equally distributed. But we do not accept unequal power, unlike Brazilians who accept a social order where everyone has their place. So if you're going to the U.S., from the U.S. to Brazil, this might affect the way you think about your fellow employees. You will need to be aware that there is a powerful leader. Individualism versus collectivism. The issue addressed here is the degree of interdependence a society maintains among its members. Individualism scores high and refers to a society where each person is expected to care for themselves. On the other hand, collectivism scores low, and it's a society where they rely on each other and they value trust. Brazil has a score of 38, which means they value collectivism and strong, cohesive groups. Long, trustworthy relationships are important. Brazil's scores compared to the U.S. is shocking, as the U.S. scores a 91, which means they're more worried about themselves and immediate family rather than team, or look at situations from an I perspective rather than a we. If you're traveling from the U.S. to Brazil, it'll be vital to remember teamwork. Try to keep negative comments to yourself, and remember you want to make a good relationship with your coworkers. Masculinity versus femininity. The issue here is the distribution of roles between wanting to be the best or liking what you do. Masculinity scores high and stands for a society driven by competition, achievement, and success, while femininity scores low and means a society driven by cooperation, modesty, and the quality of life. Brazil scores a 49, which means there's a good balance between wanting to succeed and still wanting to enjoy life. The U.S. scores a little bit higher at 62, meaning we have a more masculine society with more of a focus on money and achievement. When you're going from U.S. to Brazil, there shouldn't be much of a difference besides maybe a little more relaxed environment, as they are not as worried about time. Uncertainty avoidance. This has to do with the way that a society deals with the fact that the future can never be known. A high score means people try to control life to make it as predictable as possible, and a low score means a society that's more relaxed and has an open attitude. Brazil scores a high 76 as they show a strong need for rules and legal systems to structure life. They have these rules to make it safer and a more enjoyable place to live, and since they feel like they have control over their life, they have less stress, which in result leads to higher energy and a more expressive attitude. The U.S. shows 46, which is lower than Brazil, and this might be due to the acceptance of change and new ideas in America. The lower score means a higher tolerance for uncertainty. When traveling to Brazil, remember there may be many unspoken rules you will need to pick up on. Also recognize that certain aggressive tones and gesture may be the way they're communicating, so don't take it offensively. Long-term orientation. The context is how the society prioritizes the path with the challenges of the present and future. A low score on this dimension means the society honors traditions, and they may be more religious and nationalistic. A high score signifies a more pragmatic approach that encourages modern education to prepare for the future. Brazil ranks at 44, which means they show a good balance between normative and pragmatic. However, the U.S. is fairly lower at a score of 26. The US has very strong ideas of good and evil on topics such as abortion, euthanasia, and the use of drugs. So if you're going from the US to Brazil, it might be important to behave more modest in your actions and when expressing your opinions. Lastly is indulgence versus restraint. This dimension is defined as the extent to which people try to control their desires and impulses. Indulgence scores high and stands for society that allows for natural human drives such as enjoying life and having fun. Restraint stands for a society that suppresses these natural needs and regulates it through strict norms. Brazil has a high score of 59, showing their society has a positive attitude and places a high degree of importance on leisure time, acting as they please, and spending money as they wish. In comparison, the US scores a 68, so it's fairly similar to the way Brazilians think. Going from another country can be frightening and be different from what you know. Hofstede's cultural dimensions gives you some insight on the cultural norms of other countries, such as Brazil. It is good to recognize these differences and to keep from offending people and to help adjust. Hopefully using these tips will ease worry and make the transformation to a new culture less intimidating. Lastly, I have my references. Thank you.